We just witnessed Quillan Salkilld obliterate my boy Gamrot, and I feel bad for him. You know, I didn't get to post my prediction video, but going into this fight, I was worried for Gamrot. I know how skilled Salkilld is, and honestly, this might be his worst loss. And when I say his worst loss, I don't mean, you know, the level of competition he just lost to is bottom of the barrel. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, this was a complete shutout. It did not look competitive at all. There was one sequence I can give Gamrot, but besides that, this was a complete shutout. And honestly, this was a more dominant and impressive win than the Charles Oliveira. And yes, I'm an Oliveira fan. I had to build up the courage to say that, but I gotta be honest here. This was a complete shutout. Is there a way I can... I beg your pardon, bro? Like, what? What do you mean? An unexpected error. All right, $1 billion company, by the way, but I can't check the stats. Is there? Oh my god! What the fuck? Let's break down the fight, bro. Immediately, the fight starts, and we see a significant size advantage for Quillan Salkilld, and immediately Gamrot gets hurt with a hook coming into Quillan Salkild's domain, and we see Gamrot go for the shot. He's very committed on this single leg. Quillan Salkilld is looking like he's going to defend it. They proceed to, you know, go into a scramble. Eventually get back up to the feet. They're in a clinch scenario. And then out of nowhere, we see Gamrot just go for the legs. He kind of rolls into a leg lock scenario here. And this is what I mean. It looked kind of deep and devious for a split second because I just hate looking at leg locks, man. It just gives me a ick feeling. We see Gamrot fall into a knee bar, and it looks as if he has it for a split second, but then he kind of loses it and transitions to a heel hook, and Salkilld is trying to turn over and he's trying to free up the knee, and there's a split second where you just see the knee and the leg kind of just bending very weird. It was horrible. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. It was horrible. It looked disgusting, but Salkilld was okay. He frees up the leg. He stays composed. You know what I'm saying? And now we see Salkilld trying to insert dominance in the grappling. Okay, he's trying to throw his ground and pounds, right? Eventually, Gamrot's able to get back up. They separate. Now they're on the feet. Nothing really happens on the feet. They're just jabbing each other. Gamrot is throwing his own as well. He's not just a sitting duck, but I was concerned for him because, you know, we just seen him get out grappled. We just seen him get dropped. It's not looking good. And then out of nowhere, this bloody Salkilld fellow here, man, he goes for the double leg and he gets a takedown of his own. He traps the legs right here. I'm just fucking stunned. I'm like, I just shut my ass up and I'm just watching like, damn, he is doing you dirty, Gamrot. He is doing you bad. He proceeds to take Gamrot's back, and then there's a scenario where Gamrot is almost able to free himself off and get back up, but Salkilld is able to trap one of his arms from the back, and it pretty much prevents Gamrot from turning over and reversing the position. Salkilld then proceeds to take the back again, and then he locks up the rear naked choke, and it's just over. I feel bad for Gamrot. You know, guy left his kids, and I ain't gonna say it was for nothing, but my boy, I don't know where you go from here. You know, maybe you could be one of the competitive ranked fighters, but I know these fighters always just, they're eyeing for the title shit fight, right? But not everyone can be a champ in this division, especially in the lightweight. So back in the line, queue up. I don't know who you got to fight next, but for Quillan Salkilld, I'm cooking up here, y'all. Now that I was able to witness Salkilld be able to hold his own in the grappling department and even dominate a dominant grappler, he's calling out the top 5, and this fighter I'm about to name isn't in particularly in the top 5, but I think this is going to be cinema, y'all. Trust me when I say this. Y'all got to trust me. I don't know if they're willing to book this because Salkilld isn't, you know, an ideal opponent for this guy. You know, I feel like this guy's probably aiming for the Ilias, the Armies, the Charles, and fuck that. Let's give Salkilld Usman Nurmagomedov.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
He's ready, bro. I'm telling you, this guy's ready. This is going to be a very competitive fight. If Paul Hughes is able to give this guy a run for his money, Quillan Salkilld could take it all and just shut down the party, and his name and his stock would just boom and go to the moon. I'm telling you guys, this guy is the real deal. And I'm not just saying that so we can avoid Salkilld versus Charles Oliveira. I promise you, I am telling you guys from the bottom of the heart, we got to see Usman versus Salkilld. We got to start pushing that, y'all. Word 2. Dominant victory from Salkilld. If they don't want to give him Usman, we got Charles available. We have Max Holloway available. I believe everyone else is booked up, okay? And honestly, sources trust me, bro, guys. I got insider information. It's going to be Charles versus Justin Gagey. So I guess Salkilld versus Max Holloway. That's the only one available. Nevertheless, dominant victory. I feel bad for Gamrot. Keep your head up, kid. Moving on. Diego Ferreira versus Billy Quarantillo. This is a co-main event to the fight night, and these guys are honestly not the most elite level lightweight fighters here. It was kind of embarrassing to watch, honestly. Billy Quarantillo finally, after taking a long hiatus, comes back, moving up a weight division, fighting Diego Ferreira and Unk. Both of these guys are practically at their tail end of their career. Had they have given both fighters a tough opponent, they were to most likely retire. But they gave can versus can, and I'm all in for it. Now, in this matchup, Diego Ferreira was looking like a marauder, not a marauder. He was not. He was looking like a sniper out there. He was looking like the most complete, most polished MMA fighter you can see against a Quarantillo, of course. And yeah, I actually genuinely mean that, because Quarantillo was just walking him down and just getting pieced up. Very leaky defense, not much power. The one thing I can give Quarantillo is his durability in this fight was really showing, because he was eating a lot of clean punches, and there would be moments where he would overextend and fall out of position. Diego Ferreira would have the perfect angle and just start raining 1-2s down the middle, cracking Quarantillo, and Quarantillo would just back up with an ugly Philly shell, okay? Pretty dominant victory, honestly, on the feet and on the ground for Ferreira, especially for the first 2 rounds. But then we go into round 3 where it gets a little more, competitive. Quarantillo is still putting on that pace, walking forward with the hands down, just getting pieced up. But it looks like Diego Ferreira is low-key just gassing out a bit. Quarantillo isn't really able to do much. Ferreira just decides to pull guard, survive, and he wins by decision. An okay victory for Ferreira, honestly. Quarantillo just looked kind of buns out there, honestly. Darren Elkins versus Yadier del Valle. Look at the odds, bro. Like, they just wanted to make sure Elkins had to get CTE before he calls his career, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Dana just wanted to see Valle catch a body real quick, and that's what we seen. Elkins had no success in this fight. He goes for a takedown, fails it. Valle is able to stuff it. They get back on the feet. I believe Valle was in the southpaw stance, throws that straight left hand down the middle. Elkins just gets cracked and dropped, and the fight is over. Very quick. Does that bitch say 35 seconds? God. Man, the UFC and MMA in general can just be a very brutal sport, bro. Yo, this guy can pay his dues, entertain the fans, years, blood, sweat, and tears into this sport. And the best they can do is give you Valle for your last retirement fight, bro. That's fucked up, bro. Anyways, we move on to Amanda Lemos versus Alexia. A competitive fight, but Alexia was able to, throw more and be more active on the feet. And occasionally, level change, clinch with Lemos. That's pretty much what we see in the first round entirely. And you just have to give Alexia the first round. We go into round 2, though. Lemos is able to crack Alexia with a straight right hand as she tries to, blitz in. Doesn't really capitalize much on that, but I give Lemos the second round. Then we go into the third round, and Alexia just is more active. She does more, and she just gets the nod due to that 2-1. Close fight, but I don't disagree with the judge's decision. We move on. Billy Ray Goff versus Ty Miller. Oh, I forgot this shit doesn't work. My dumbass. Anyways, Billy Ray Goff tried his best to, keep this fight competitive. And his way of doing that was to clinch and grapple and just stay on him like a glue. That shit can only work for so long, because he was having no success in none of those departments. And Ty Miller would just stay patient, defend it, separate. And Ty Miller's jab was money all night, and as the fight kept going on, it just started getting less and less competitive. I felt so bad for Goff. He was at one point just a punching bag, literally. Seriously, this guy was just being a punching bag for a split second. And I don't even remember the sequence, but I just remember Goff just getting dropped bad. I'm probably just gonna put the bitch up on the screen, but yeah, he gets dropped bad, and it looks as if the fight's over, and this man's just defending the ground and pounds, gets back up, he's just getting teed off and just getting beat up. And if it was a Herb Dean or any other referee, they probably stopped the fight there. But Jason Herzog hears the clap, all right, the 10-second clap, and he knows that, and he wants to make sure that Goff still has some fight in him. So he lets Goff off the hook and not stop the fight. Lets the 10 seconds go off. The same sentiment I had for the Bobby Green versus Terry Spikini fight comes to fruition here. And pretty much as soon as round 3 starts, Goff just gets cracked and just kind of wilts and loses. I do like the decision of letting the fight continue though, because now it makes that finish very definitive. And good victory for Miller. Very dominant, very lanky for the welterweight division, and we see those type of builds, you know, strive. I look forward to seeing this guy. He has really crisp and dangerous striking. Steve, oh my god, I'm a dumbass. Why do I keep clicking and thinking this shit's gonna work? It's not. Alright, Steven Asplund versus Guilherme Pat. This was damn, I wish I could show you guys the builds, but you know, if you're a casual out here and you just see their builds, one guy, Steven, you look at him, his body's literally melting before your eyes, and then you look at the other side, Pat, pretty compy physique for a heavyweight, right? So you would expect Pat to, you know, win this fight, especially in the first few rounds where Pat just has very crisp, fast twitch, strong, precise striking. You would imagine him to, you know, potentially win this fight, but no, Asplund, you know, the crafty blob himself, and he, you know, he was blobbing a little bit in that match. But there'll be occasional striking exchanges where one would get the better over the other. And in the first round, Asplund hurts Pat bad, is able to, you know, follow up with a few more strikes and then, you know, blob for a split second. Very crafty of them. You know what I'm saying? He steals the round. We move into round 2. Vice versa, Pat's able to crack Asplund. He, you know, beats him up for a while and then, you know, blob max for a little bit. Very crafty of them. So then we go into round 3, okay? It's 1-1. They both hurt each other and then they blob after. So what's going to happen here, okay? Asplund head kicks Pat as Pat was dipping, hurts him bad, beats him up for a little more, and then guess what? He blobs for the next couple minutes. Very crafty. And I am kind of shitting on it a little bit, but no, this fight was entertaining for the brief moments that they would strike. And I think this is a very clear victory for Asplund. I give him 2-1 due to him hurting Pat twice in rounds 1 and 3. Pat isn't a scrub though. He is in the beginning of his career, so I do expect him to learn and, you know, build off that loss. But we move on to this fight that was low-key having me hyped. That shit was low-key tough, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. Diyar Nurgozhay versus Bruno Lopes. This was pretty much looking like a taekwondo match. You know, a lot of kicks, not a lot of strikes with the hands. And when I say kicks, it was a lot of low kicks, especially from both of them. But I believe Nurgozhay was getting the better of them and landing the cleaner outside leg kicks, whereas Lopes would throw inside low kicks and it would just be shin to shin. Like I was saying, this is a competitive fight throughout the whole match, right? Occasionally, they'll both go to the body. A lot of eye pokes from Lopes, but then out of nowhere, Nurgozhay lands an overhand shot on Lopez's temple, and it looks as if Lopes eats it. And then out of nowhere, Lopez's body just jolts up like a fucking inflatable tube in that car dealerships, and we just see this guy have a delay reaction as he falls. Nurgozhay follows him, throws ground and pounds. It looks as if the fight's over. And then we see Lopes circling outside the cage. Nurgozhay is methodically cutting him off, right? And then he throws a spinning back fist and then transitions to a lead uppercut, lead left hook to the body, and then a left hook upstairs. That shit was clean as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was clean as fuck, man. Lopes just drops and dies. Yeah. I feel bad because as the commentators were talking about how this guy recently came back off of retirement due to COVID, due to his dad passing away, and he had to feed his family. And then we just see this guy get murdered on live television. Yeah, like I said, this sport's brutal, man. Louie Sutherland versus, oh my. Word to, if I do this shit one more time, thinking this shit's gonna, you know, show their whole fucking stats and big body ass motherfuckers. No, it's not. Why do I keep thinking that? I gotta stop hitting this. Not a good look for Louie Sutherland, especially not a good look for Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa had this guy looking like the next godly grappler, but no, this guy got pretty much beat up and manhandled in the ground, and easy rear naked choke for Montanha. I believe Louie Sutherland was trying to go for an inside trip and he just gets reversed and just gets taken down. And yeah, Tai Tuivasa, your time is coming up, buddy. Time is ticking. Yes, that time is ticking. Manoel Sousa versus Richie Miranda. Miranda was able to take Sousa down in the first round and control him. We go into the second round. Sousa is able to just pretty much just beat him to a pulp. Miranda was pretty much a punching bag the whole second round. We're going to round 3. It's a little more competitive, but Sousa is able to land the more thudding blows, which I think gave him the nod. And I agree with it. I give Sousa rounds 2 and 3. Miles Johns versus Hianni Vazquez. Throughout the fight, Johns was very selective with his shots and very defensively responsible and patient. And he looked to have the more devastating power out of the two. Vazquez was the guy moving around, picking his shots in and out. And it was pretty competitive throughout the first round. But then out of nowhere, Vazquez is able to get a clean check hook as Miles Johns was trying to throw his own shot. And he gets clipped and dropped. Not bad, but he gets dropped, gets back up. And like I said, this guy's staying precise. He's staying composed. He's hurt, but he's ready to throw. And as Vazquez is trying to stay measured and, staying patient, getting ready to throw his offense while having hurt Johns by the cage, Johns decides to, come in with a jumping gazelle left hook. And it lands cleanly on Vazquez, hurting him bad. Follows him up with a few ground and pounds. Ref sees enough because Vazquez is clearly out. And yeah, gets the KO victory. Crazy turn of events. And for the brief moment of chaos, it was entertaining. And a checkmate from Johns. All right, we move on to Juliana Miller versus Ravena Oliveira. Miller was pretty much the more physically imposing fighter here. She was able to control Oliveira by the fence most of the fight. And then in the finishing sequences, she's able to finally take Oliveira down and then slash up a rear naked choke. Oliveira, I think your time is up. I'm pretty sure the UFC is probably going to cut you. I feel bad for you, but hey, it is what it is. Now, Gigi Canuto versus Caro Foro. I didn't really watch that fight, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. Matter of fact, I didn't watch none of these fights live except the last two. Your boy was at Longhorn, and the motherfuckers had no goddamn Wi-Fi, and they know they did not have no TVs there. So, of course, I missed the whole event. I had to go back, watch everything back, and I'm low-key too tired to watch Gigi Canuto versus Caro Foro. Now, let me know if I just missed out on a complete banger of a fight right here, but hey, it is what it is, brother. I hope you guys liked the video and enjoyed the breakdown. Leave a like, subscribe. Peace.